I got feedback from one of my coworkers like, hey, you need to stop speaking in front of a blank wall. You need to start speaking in front of like decorations and a little bit better lighting. And I was like, okay, roger that. Welcome back to the TOWKA Talks podcast. Today I am joined by Austen Dalquist. He is a returning guest to the podcast. Austen, welcome back to the podcast. And thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you so much for having me. An honor, as always, to be on and to talk with you and to catch up. Man, grateful to be here.
So a lot has changed in a year since you were last with us. Can you kind of go through, as far as running goes, what has changed and what you're currently working towards right now?
Yeah. So I'm a professional runner out in Boulder, Colorado, and I'm 29 years old. I'll be 30 soon, big 30 soon. And I finished college in 2019, joined a professional running team called the Roots Running Project in October 1st of 2019, and I was with them for 5 years. And I got better with that team, learned a lot, got super injured, and also had a breathing disorder. I believe, yeah, we talked a bit about that in the first episode. And last year, I made the decision to switch coaches, switch teams, and it was a hard decision, but maybe some listeners know, maybe some others don't, about threshold training or double threshold training, kind of something that's taken the world by storm in a way. And it's popularized by maybe the best distance runner in the world right now, Jakob Ingebrigtsen. But I'd heard about this training method, and I know a lot of colleges and pro teams that were utilizing the method, and I wanted to explore it. And so I decided to join a team here, a different team here in Boulder, and they were 10-man elite. I guess they are 10-man elite for those that know, but because at the turn of the year, Adidas decided to just fund the road side um, of the members of the team. There's a group of us, myself, Drew Hunter, Sam Parsons, and Joey Barriatua. We have some deals with other brands that we run for, and we're like the track side of 10 Man Elite. So, not technically 10 Man Elite, but we're all still together training with them, training with the whole group. But anyway, all that to say, I employed this second, or sorry, not second, this new method of training, and yeah, had the best running year of my career at 29. I PR'd everything from the 800 to the 5K, and yeah, had big breakthroughs and competed the longest I ever have, all the way until the last week of August. And so definitely was excited about that. Had some great training partners, and just more fired up than ever to continue the momentum in that sense.
Now, are you scared about going into a new decade of age, becoming the big 3-0?
I'm not, and I don't know how you feel, Jonathan, but I don't know. I don't necessarily feel 30 or soon to be. Some days I do when I don't get enough sleep. I mean, we were talking about this right before, but I think the only thing that you can maybe tell is as the years go by, you just have to make sure to get sleep and eat correctly most of the time, and like, yeah, do the rehab exercises. Whereas when we were 18 or 19, you can kind of just wake up and go run and feel great. Or wake up and work out, or whatever, and just eat Pop Tarts and be fine. But um, yeah, I really feel like athletically my best years are ahead, and I look young. I don't know if that really has anything to do with it, but maybe it doesn't, maybe it does. And I also feel like my years of training up to this point maybe wasn't maximizing my potential. And so maybe that also lessens my running age. Who knows? But with some technology these days, and also I feel like with just kind of how running is, a lot of people can run quicker into their 30s, and even into their late 30s with those longer distances. And so, yeah, I think the only thing that I anticipate is I'll just have to make sure and stay on top of everything. Would you agree? Would you say that that's the same?
Absolutely, for sure. You hit the nail right on the head, brother. Now, we've known each other for a very long time, I think around 15 years now, which time
Crazy.
goes by very, very fast for anybody who doesn't know that. Um, would you say that since you're coaching at a nearby high school up in Boulder, that what you see in the kids there that you help coach, you kind of see, you saw in yourself when you were younger, like around that same age, as far as their development and their love for the sport? And then obviously, from a coach's eye view, do you kind of help like use that methodology towards your own running as far as improving and continuing to grow in the sport?
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. I could go down so many roads here, but the head coach at the Boulder High School goes to my wife and I's church, and yeah, he approached me at the end of last summer about the potential of me being an assistant coach, and it was something that I feel like the Lord has kind of stirred in me a little bit in the last couple years, and the high school age specifically, I've felt passion toward because it is such an impactful time of our lives. We are kind of hitting puberty, figuring out what we want to do. We're growing, we're changing. We got college or the rest of life coming up, and I really believe having strong, positive mentor figures in our lives at that time is powerful. And so I just want to be that person to those people. I want to be a light in their life and an encouragement, and hopefully somebody that embodies the things that I believe when it comes to faith and conducting oneself. And so I have the opportunity to do that to these kids, and hopefully improve their running. Like I always say, the I want the kids to um, have fun. Well, first of all, it's like have a good relationship with themselves, and second would be to have fun, and then third would be to run fast. Like we're gonna be disciplined. We're gonna work hard, but yeah, we want to remember these days with joy, and not have a militaristic program with it. But I just think back to my times growing up and in high school with our Coach Zaring, and well, I guess you had. Did you have Coach Arsenal? You never had Zaring, did you?
I had three different coaches. Yeah,
Oh
one my
wow.
freshman year, two or the same one my sophomore, junior year, and then the coach Zaring my senior year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess and then I think Coach Arsenal and Zaring were two great leaders for my high school career, just super encouraging. And then my college coach was so positive, never said a negative thing toward me, and yeah, just have had encouraging parents and other mentors in my life, and really good people to look up to. And so if I can be a light in these kids' lives, and then that's the prayer, that's the hope. But the second part of your question, I don't think I anticipated how much coaching the kids would impact my personal running. And yeah, I think it has in a ton of ways. And like you said, it's kind of put me back in that mindset where I was when I was in high school, and what I was going through, what I was thinking about, kind of how I approached training and racing and everything. And it's really given me not only like a renewed love for the sport and perspective, but just a lot of gratefulness toward my own running, because I think it's easy to get caught up in a bubble, especially in Boulder, Colorado. There's Olympians that live right down the road from me, and yeah, the local 5K is bananas, because yeah, there's so many professional teams out here, and you're just surrounded by it all the time, that it's easy to run an objectively good time, or objectively be running really well, and still compare yourself to others. And then to see these massive breakthroughs from my high schoolers, and see how excited they are about making gains in the sport, really yeah, it just makes me feel grateful to still be pursuing it, and still be getting better, and enjoying it. And so yeah, it's kind of crazy to think back to, because I hadn't thought back to high school running in a long time. And I don't know, I feel like for us, I don't know if you would say the same thing, but it felt relatively simple. Kind of just didn't have a lot of strategy approach. I don't know if we ever had strategy talks with our coaches. We kind of just went out and ran hard, and I think there was some beauty in that. And I wish I would have kept our training logs because I really only remember a few sessions along the way, but um, I appreciated like the I don't know if looseness is a right term, but like we showed up and we trained, but we were kind of given the ability if we wanted to be good, we would have to work for it, which I appreciated. And so, do you remember like some of the training, or do you think about like how you approached racing in high school,
Mainly
or
my
not?
freshman year because they had something called Hell Week, and there were obviously like ridiculous workouts the whole entire week. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, leading up to like the district, regional, and state championships. I briefly remember everything else. To be honest with you, all I really remember are like the good times. Obviously, when we kind of like got together as a team and as a unit and
Mhm.
kind of just, we formed friendships and bonds. Obviously, we were just up there recently up in Colorado visiting one of our best friends who we've known since high school, who graduated a couple years before I did. So, those are the things I definitely remember more than the actual workouts. But yeah, I'm definitely with you on all that for sure, as far as
Definitely,
like the development and all that.
definitely. No, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think when I think about the performance aspect, especially, like I certainly am blessed with God given talent, and I think really, yeah, toward the end of my high school career, I just kind of went for it. Um, just went to the front of the race and suffered, and I kind of want to channel that high school me a little bit in professional running now, because I didn't know any better, and obviously I was talented enough to be up there, but I was kind of just naive, but in a good way, which I think you need in any sport or really life in general. Like, you got to believe that you can do something or be something before you can, and everybody that's ever run fast or incredible football player or something believes that they can be that all-star before they are. And so I think as I've gotten older, I've certainly like added too many layers of complication to running. Whereas in high school, it was fun, it was loose. Yeah, we worked hard. Yeah, we did stuff outside of practice, but we're also just like, all right, it's race time. Just gonna attack it as hard as I can, and just kind of reckless in that way, but was able to have like a lot of breakthroughs that way. And so that's something that I really try to tell my kids, like, hey, this is fun time, this is unique time, it's gonna fly by, like we're talking about. Like, I've known you for over half my life, which is crazy. Um, like, why not give yourself a chance? Why not put yourself up there, and you come to practice every day, and you're working every day. Like, why not allow yourself to have a breakthrough? And so, anyway, long way to answer your question, but certainly has given me a lot of perspective, has allowed me to think through things, and hopefully pass on some good nuggets of knowledge to my kids, but has certainly helped my running career as well. Because like I'm telling my kids this stuff, it's my time to race now. Oh, I better show up, or I better like make those hard decisions in the race, because I'm on the sidelines yelling at my kids to do it. So if their coach isn't doing it, then that's not good.
So, can you see yourself becoming a head cross country and track coach in the near future?
Near future, no. Be only because my life is already pretty busy as is. Like, running full time takes a lot. and then I have a full time job as well. I have an e-commerce job. Takes a lot of time, and yeah, I do some other little things. I try to spend some time working on my podcast, my brand, as we've mentioned, and I sell some things on eBay, and I've been married for 3 years, and we have church friends and runner friends and regular, or not regular, but we have other friends and events, and um, as you know, life can get super busy, especially if you make it, and so um, being an assistant is perfect right now because I can just show up to practice a couple times a week and run with the kids, lift with them. Periodically, it's stuff that I'm going to do anyway. Get that second run or get that lift, and then yeah, going to the meets when I can, and being able to cheer for them and be with them in those moments. But being a head coach, as you probably know, or as the listener can probably guess, there's just so many more things you have to do. I still have to do the CPR testing and all of the like assault modules you got to fill out, background check, all that stuff. But being a head coach, you need to do so much organization of the kids and so much paperwork and talking to parents and organizing all the meets and entering all the kids, and in the future I think I could be willing to do that, but certainly not when I'm competing right now. And yeah, like being kind of the fun assistant coach. I'm working on trying to be a little more assertive. I'm not trying to be. I don't ever want to be mean, but I think some of the kids think I'm just like the fun coach. Like, oh, he's telling me to stop messing around. Like, haha, he doesn't mean it. But I'm trying to be like, all right, guys, let's stay on task. Or if they're struggling in a workout and they're like, oh, this hurts. Most of the time, I'm like, okay, you can stop or take a rep off. Like, want to. If it really hurts, then sure, but maybe let's keep running because running's hard, kind of thing. And so, kind of working on figuring that out too, as we go. But it's been an enriching experience, and I would encourage anybody to coach, especially anyone that has a lot of experience in sport. Our sports need good coaches, people that care about the sport and want to give back. And yeah, there's a lot of not good coaches out there, unfortunately.
So since you're on the professional running scene, would you say that strength training, getting those second runs in to add mileage to your weekly mileage, the nutrition, the sleep, the recovery, everything plays in or plays a part in your success as a professional runner and getting to like that next step, which is the Olympic trials and eventually the Olympics?
Yeah, oh man, for sure. Like, kind of what, yeah, we talked about just a few minutes ago. Like, um, you have to be pretty disciplined, pretty dang disciplined, and sacrifice a lot of things to be, I think, a good runner, a good athlete. It doesn't mean you have to live like a hermit, but I'd say for most of the year, like, you probably need to be going to bed at a really reasonable time, and not going out, probably avoiding alcohol, drugs, all of that always, and yeah, eating well most of the time. I'm all for eating dirty, like 80/20, 90/10 rule, but yeah, probably going to concerts till 1 in the morning a couple times a year, or just some of the things that spontaneous trip somewhere is going to take away from your training and racing. And so it comes with a lot of sacrifice, and it's definitely a lower key lifestyle. But yeah, you need to do the little things. Like, I'm a huge little things guy. I totally understand that the big things matter the most. Like, are you getting volume? Are you doing the correct kind of workouts or specialized training? Are you lifting and doing, yeah, rehab recovery movements and stuff? That's like kind of the the bulk of it. But honestly, like the bottom part of the pyramid is probably sleep. It's probably the bottom part of the pyramid is probably sleep, and then the next one is probably eating well and eating enough. And then probably the next part of the pyramid is volume. I don't know. I can make you a pyramid, or at least the pyramid of performance according to me. I don't know if it's necessarily right, but that's kind of how I think about it. And anyway, yeah, I'm going kind of on a tangent here, but for somebody that wants to embrace this life, or try this life of competitiveness, of pursuing professional running, or any like any sports or body related endeavor, you got to be willing to sacrifice. And I think the only way to do that in a healthy manner is you have to love it. And that's something that I do love. I really love running, and I love the running community, and I love the people that I get to share it with. And so for me right now, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. I am excited about like post running. It'll be nice to just like sleep in a lot, and I plan on putting on some weight and playing basketball, and like going to ski with my wife's family, my in-laws and stuff. That's like a cool thing that I look forward to, but I don't want it right now. And so yeah, you have to love it. And like, running is like not complicated, but it's complicated at the same time. And sorry, I know I'm going for a while here, but it's not complicated in that you're putting on your shoes and you're running, and it's very simple. It's like the most simple human endeavor, but it's complicated in that if you want to be good at it, they need to be the right shoes. You need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to take the right supplements, you probably need to see a PT, you need to strength train, you need to do rehab and core, and there's so many things. And then, do you have the right super shoes? Are you taking bicarb? Like, there's all kinds of things, which some of those things aren't necessary to run well and perform fast, or run fast, perform well. But there are a lot of things that you should probably be doing, and I think that's the case for every sport on a high level. You can't get away with not doing those things.
That definitely speaks a lot of volumes about what you obviously, from the competitive standpoint. I think that just shows like the results. Obviously, recently you ran a 355 mile, which myself and the majority of my viewers probably couldn't even comprehend how fast that is. But you can't get from A to B without doing everything in between. So I think that will definitely help somebody out there who's wanting to get to that next level, or at least the professional scene, like some hope and some insight and wisdom. Would you say that as a professional runner, that it's hard sometimes to put aside your ego and your pride, as far as, okay, I need to take a step back and reevaluate when things don't go my way or races don't go the way I wanted them to?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You have to be willing to, um, yeah, you have to be willing to change things. You have to be willing to, I think, like kind of turn over stones, I guess. And bad races are gonna happen. Bad days are gonna happen. I would say to not have like big overreactions if you're feeling bad, or if you have a performance or two or three that go not how you intend. But I believe, just like anything in life, you have to be honest with yourself, with how you're feeling and what you're doing, and be willing to do the work. I know I have had a tumultuous career up to this point. I'd wish, and just like anything in life, like we wish it was just a up and to the right, but everything in life is hills and valleys, and I have gotten so many things checked out. I've health wise, I've had health issues, I've had bad injuries. Um, I've talked with tons of experts, tons of fellow competitors, and um, just that pursuit to want tons of different coaches. I recently switched teams, and yeah, that was a really hard thing, leaving my coach of 5 years and a lot of close friends on a team to take a chance on something that I didn't know was going to work. Really grateful that it has worked, but yeah, you certainly putting the pride to the side. Like, man, isn't that just like a that's just like a testament for life. Like, just humbling yourself to be willing to change and be willing to yeah, I guess just like continue to try things out. I mean, like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so um, yeah, it really takes, especially with performance, I think it really takes honest assessments of what you're doing, where your body and where your mind and everything leading up to that is at, and being like, okay, um, what can I do different here, and what can I change? Because yeah, I think if you're just arrogantly going through life or with running and being like, nope, you know, this is what I'm supposed to be. This is gonna work. This I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And yeah, you're just wasting opportunities at that point, I believe. So um, hopefully that makes sense.
But I recently read that you have dealt with a eating disorder in the past. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and what you've learned through that process?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So the story kind of goes after my freshman year of college. I had a great year. I redshirted the outdoor season. I ran in Jersey cross country and indoor, and I redshirted the outdoor season, and I had a great year. I transitioned to college, and I was getting better in every aspect, and I ran four flat in the mile when I was 19, and at the end of that outdoor season, and so I had all this momentum, and yeah, I wish I could just shake myself at that time and just be like, hey, just keep doing what you've been doing, uh, because it was working. And I think it's a big victory when you go from high school to college and you're able to improve as much as I did. Like, often I hear from coaches, the athletes first year in college, if they are just where they're at, maybe a little better from where they were their senior year of high school, then that's a victory, because it's a new system, it's a new environment, you're on your own for the first time, doing college is all up to you anyway. So yeah, after that first year, I was just really hungry for success, and I just wanted to continue to take that next step in my running, and I got this idea that I needed to lose a bunch of weight. And for those that maybe can't tell from the video, or maybe don't know what I look like, I'm 6'2", 6'3", around 170 pounds, and I would guess that's about how much I weighed at that time, maybe a little less, but I was like looking at my competitors and thought, you know, I should, if I lose some weight, then it'll be less weight that I'm carrying around and I'll be faster. And up to that point too, I never really looked at nutrition labels or anything. Like, growing up, didn't have the best diet, um, and yeah, just didn't really know what any of it meant. And freshman year, just ate the food in the dining hall and was like, just gonna eat because I'm running so much. So anyway, yeah, going into sophomore year, really started restricting what I was eating, eating like too healthy, and not eating enough carbs, not ever having any pizza or burgers or cheat meals or cookies or anything with anybody. And the dangerous thing about what I was never officially diagnosed, but RED-S is called relative energy deficiency in sport. And the dangerous thing about that is when you initially lose weight, you actually have a boost in performance, because your body is still like, it's like a longer term thing. Your body's still using like all of the training and energy that it had, but then after you see the boost in performance, you have like a big dip in performance. And so I that cross country season actually ran really well, but I was lighter. I was in the 150s. I know I got down to somewhere close to 150, which is, yeah, for somebody that's around 6'3" is very small. So then after that cross country season, indoor and outdoor, the next year, just had no power. Was just blowing up in races, tired all the time. Felt like I just had mono around the clock, which I'd had that in the past, so I kind of knew what that felt like, but was just kind of blinded to it. And the following fall, I actually kind of reversed it. I started like eating too much, and so I like went went the other direction, and then went back to not eating enough again because I was like, oh, I'm too heavy. I need to cut weight again. And so anyway, it was a total yo-yo, and yeah, I mean, just disappointing because I was in my own head, and I thought that that's what it took, and just suffered the consequences from it. Thankfully, like through it, I was still, I guess, like toward the end of my college career, I was kind of coming out of it, and I was able to improve here and there, but yeah, still like struggling a lot with food insecurity. And when I came out to Boulder after college, it was the first time now in 5 years that I had to cook every one of my meals, whereas in college, University of Arkansas, basically every meal is spoken for, which is amazing. Like, what a blessing. But now I have to cook for myself. And so, like, this not really knowing how to cook, not wanting to cook, and yeah, obviously still kind of struggling with an eating disorder and how to, like, fuel properly led me to break my sacrum. And finally, when I broke my sacrum, I ended up talking to a dietitian and kind of ran her through for a month what I was eating, and she was like, "Yeah, you need more carbs. You need a little more of these food groups and stuff." And yeah, thankfully from there, I've been able to build in a ton of good habits, and get through it. But yeah, I would say the lessons from that is that everybody's body is different, and everybody feels different at different weights, and yeah, some people's frames are a little smaller, and they're naturally a little smaller, but I'm 170 pounds give or take right now, and I'm the best runner I've ever been. Yeah, I'm 6'3". I'm bigger maybe than your traditional runner. There are some other runners that are around my size, maybe a little bigger, but this is where I feel and perform my best. But it's a dangerous game to play because you don't want to be too heavy either. So it's like you want to be fueled and you want to have excess calories to recover, but if I was 5, 6, 7 more pounds, then it would start to be detrimental toward me. So it's a huge issue in the running world for sure. There are many folks that I know that have struggled with eating disorders with red S, and yeah, it leads to burnout, leads to injury, and I'm really grateful that I've been able to get to the other side of it and perform well again. But yeah, for a long time I really underperformed and just destroyed my body. And I'm really thankful that my sacrum broke because it finally like woke me up to that. And yeah, I would just encourage folks out there to really make sure, we hear it all the time in commercials or from our parents or other people, but like make sure you're getting the proper nutrients and your greens and your proteins and your solid carbs and stuff, and that especially when you're exercising a lot, like you need a lot of food. And so yeah, I definitely take a ton of stuff now and take eat a lot and take a lot of precautions to make sure I'm never in that place again.
So you said it earlier. I've known you for over half your life, which is I never actually thought about that. It is kind of crazy to say out loud. One of the things that I've always admired about you is how uplifting you are and how inspiring you are to the younger generations, but also your boldness and your outspokenness in your faith. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you use your platforms and your abilities to reach people at a much higher level as far as faith goes?
Yeah, man, that's super kind, and I would say the same. Say the same to you. You're always an incredible person to look up to, and even after you left, we talked about you all the time, and in high school, and now still the same. You doing everything that you are, especially from the faith point of view. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, I believe I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ, died for my sins, and I didn't believe that fully until I was 21. I guess a short, a little short blurb of my testimony was I reached this point where running was going poorly, hence partially due to the eating disorder. Relationships were going really poorly. I was in sin and anxious, and I'd say, yeah, depressed, and I just felt this emptiness that left me wondering if this was all that life had to offer. And I went to youth group, and I grew up in like a Easter Christmas household. We would occasionally go to church. I went to youth group for friends, but anyway, I met a friend at work that showed up an hour early to read the Bible, and he introduced me to his church, and I met people that for the first time showed me love that I hadn't experienced before, and just got me curious about who this Jesus guy was that they were talking about. And so I opened up the Bible and I started praying, and the gear started to turn. And actually, I say that the sacrum, breaking my sacrum, was really impactful for my running, but it was also really impactful for my faith because it forced me to slow down and not only realize that I was not taking care of my body, but that I needed to really get serious about God too. And so I was actually baptized right before COVID. And yeah, I was saved when I was 21. I'd say I invited Jesus into my heart, but it was like a long snowball process getting out to Boulder and finding a new church there too. Just kind of unraveling of my old life and the idols in my life, running included. And yeah, then meeting my wife actually in the fall of 2020 was certainly huge for my faith journey as well up until this day. But going back to your question, yeah, I believe that the Lord has given me this platform and given me unique talents in life to steward for Him, and so I want. That's the main reason I'm still running, and that's the driving reason for why I do anything is to point the glory back to Him, because I know that I wouldn't be anywhere without Him, and the joy and love that I feel the joy and love that I feel in my life through Him is just something that I really want my loved ones to know as well. And so the best way to do that is to live it out and to not be ashamed of it. And so I love being able to talk to people about God and about faith, because yeah, I believe it's the most important thing there is, and I believe there's a world beyond this, and it's eternal, and so it's a long it's much longer than the time we're going to be spending on this earth. And so yeah, the healing and the life change and the hope that I have every day through my faith in Jesus is something that, yeah, it fires me up. And I believe, yeah, the Lord has given me this platform and these talents to steward for Him, and specifically in the running space, and I'm around a lot of high performing individuals and people in the sport that don't have hope, and running especially can be dark because it's a very selfish sport, and you got to do so much for yourself, and there's a lot of comparison kind of as I mentioned earlier, or maybe even before we started recording. But it can be hard when you get hurt too, and you can't do anything. You're watching all your friends train, and so anyway, I believe the Lord has rewarded me with, I don't know if rewarded is the right word, but I think the Lord has allowed me to run fast so that I can get into these spaces and share the love and truth that I know. And um, at the end of the day, people people listen to other people that have, I guess, accomplishments or following. Like, um, my hope and prayer is that people can look at me and my story and see like, oh, this guy gives the glory to God. Like, why is that? Or this guy just ran this fast time and he says like the Lord allowed him to do that. Like, um, that's interesting. What does that mean? And yeah, the hope is that the seeds are planted there, and that you can run fast and also follow Jesus, and that um, you can do what you love and follow Jesus, because I also fully believe that we're given the passions, and we're given um, stuff that excites us. Um, but it only gets dangerous when we make that the main thing, which I did for a lot of years in my life, where like running was my god, or my relationships were my god. I was basing my worth off of them, and when those things started failing, then I was like just distraught. But now I have a foundation that I know won't fail me, and so now no matter what happens in life, which yeah, a lot of rough things happen in life, in this broken world, and so but I know that my foundation is firm, and so um, yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Little mic symbol.
I think the microphone volume doesn't work. Technical difficulties, folks.
Nope. Here, let me just hit this out. Say something. No, you can't hear me, dude. It's the enemy. Okay, sweet. You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, I can. So for me, I'm a follower of God and believer in Jesus Christ, and that He died for my sins. And I didn't believe that fully until I was 21 and in college. And yeah, I guess that is the main reason why I'm still running, or really why I do anything that I do, is because that is just the driving force, is to share the light of the Lord in the unique spaces that I'm in. And I'm definitely in some really unique spaces in my life. But my quick testimony is that I was 21, and just a lot of things in my life were kind of going poorly for the first time. And I was running bad, partially due to the eating disorder, and I was fresh out of a relationship, and I was living in anxiety and yeah, honestly, like depression. I just had a lot of emptiness inside, and it kind of was like the first push toward, is this really all there is? And um, I remember starting an internship that summer, and a guy that I met there showed up to work an hour early to read the Bible, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I feel like I should maybe be doing that. And he invited me to his church, and for the first time, I met people that just kind of met me where I was, and I didn't feel judged for not knowing the Bible, or not really knowing much about the faith. And yeah, they were just so cool and kind, and always invited me to stuff, and it just kind of got the wheels turning. And I was like, all right, who really is this Jesus guy that they talk about? And opening the Word and praying, like, definitely, yeah, changed things for me. I invited him into my life, and I would love to say I was on the straight and narrow, and we'll never be on the straight and narrow. We'll struggle with sin our whole life, but it was a long kind of unraveling process for me as I was wrestling with sin struggles and idol struggles in my life. And I moved out to Colorado in the fall of 2019, and the Lord made it real clear what church community I was going to go to. But then, as I mentioned earlier, breaking my sacrum, I was grateful for it not only from recognizing that I had a problem with food, but also that I really needed to just like slow down and like give God the keys to my running and into my life. Basically, I remember specifically praying a prayer like, okay, God, like you have it. Like I know I'll be okay if I never run fast again or if I'm never able to run again. And so I really am grateful for that sacrum break to kind of get my attention. But um, yeah, all that to say, it's been a consistent faith journey, and yeah, I'm definitely living a lot for Him, and not not perfect by any means, and struggle every day, and with sin and with the world, but I know that the Lord has uniquely gifted me with my talents, not only in running, but in other aspects of my life. And yeah, I just feel called to live it out through Him, to give Him the glory. And I'm in these hyper competitive running circles, and I've been able to meet so many people along the way, and I'm able to hopefully be a light and be there for them, and wrestle with them about their faith. And there's something about an 8 mile run with somebody or 6 mile run with somebody where you can get deep real fast. It's only you two, and or a group of y'all, and there's no other distractions. There's no technology or anything out there, and I love that setting, and especially in the running world, it's very kind of cutthroat and brutal, and you're judged on your times, and it's a very selfish sport too, and it's really easy to compare yourself to other people, and I've just had so many good conversations with people after a really intense competition about who they are, and what they think they're worth, and I know the Lord values me infinitely, and so I'm really grateful that I'm able to still compete well, and do as well as like I love it, and I want to maximize my talent, and I want to steward my talent well for Him. But whether I get first or last, I know my foundation's in Him, and so um, that's my mission field for sure, is the running space, and I definitely have a heart for those that don't know Him too, and I want to just encourage anyone listening, anyone I ever come in contact with, to give them a chance. The Bible says, "Ask and you will receive; seek and you will find; knock and the door will be opened." And I truly believe if you do seek after the Lord, He will meet you there, and your life will be changed. And so, I guess that last a last piece of that is I believe the Lord has allowed me to run fast. I guess if we're just specifically talking about running, to get into some of these races, some of these high intense, kind of really unique and rare environments, to be a light for Him, and to hopefully influence people in a good way, in a way that I believe. I guess the brutal fact is somebody's going to maybe listen to you a little more, or turn the ear a little bit to somebody that's run faster than somebody that's run slower, or to somebody that's had some accomplishments. I mean, that's just kind of how things work, and I want to be able to show people you can be a good runner God's way. You don't have to make it all about yourself to still run fast. But for some people, running fast isn't part of it. You can experience, I believe you still can have an amazing time and experience God's love even without running super fast, or fast can mean different to several people. But I definitely don't want people to get the idea that if you follow God, it means you'll run fast. But it's not a prosperity gospel or anything. But I would encourage anyone to go for him.
You and your wife, Kara, now have been married for 3 years, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 3 years, a couple weeks ago.
So you guys originally met on the Hinge dating app. Is that
Yep.
also correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So what was that like for you as a young guy, runner, Christian, going into the dating app scene, and then talk a little bit about the process of how you guys connected? What was your messages, your first message to her, y'all's first date, and then obviously
Yeah.
leading up to marriage? Kind of talk to us about the whole spiel.
Yeah. No, love it. Great questions. Yeah, I had always been up to that point pretty against dating apps, and I had a couple really long-term relationships that failed, and 2020 of all times, like I mentioned, just a really impactful year in my life. It felt like the Lord was telling me it's time to invest in a girl, and I brought this to my accountability group of guys that we met during COVID, like outside, 6 feet apart. What a crazy time! But they told me like, "Hey man, Hinge is like a serious dating app, and you should try it and like say you love the Lord on there, and you can even filter for Christian ladies, which is cool." So I was like, you know what, I'll try it, and so I did. And a couple of days later, um, well, my wife is actually the only person I ever talked to on the app, so I messaged her and she messaged back, and yeah, 3 days later we went on a date. We met. She lived in Denver at the time at her parents, and I was in Boulder, and we met at a park in Denver, and it was instant chemistry. Is kind of how I would describe it. Something that I didn't really think was possible. I people talk about like love at first sight kind of thing, and I always had this idea that love would just be, or being married would be hard a lot, which it is hard. It has hard at times for sure, but most of the time it's easy. And when you're with the right person, And so I'd say a couple weeks into knowing her, I knew she would be my wife, and I think that's also a unique thing for Christians. I feel like the Lord, you're not Christian, you're following the Lord. I feel like he makes it clear relatively early on. I'm not saying if you don't know 2 weeks in, she's not the one, but I feel like if you've been dating somebody for years and you're like, I don't know, then maybe she's not the one. So anyway, yeah, dating her, and we were engaged 11 months later, and then we got married a year after that. And honestly, we should have been engaged and married sooner, just because there's a lot of temptation in engagement. And um, yeah, we knew pretty early on, and we got married when we were 26, and so yeah, a little still not later. I mean, often in the South, people get married younger, but I feel like dating as a and maybe this is advice that can be taken or left, but I feel like when you're a little older and you kind of know what you want, or like things are progressing, I feel like after 6 months or something, you should probably have an idea of whether you want to be engaged to be married. So anyway, all that to say, yeah, she's the best, and like what's funny is we are not each other's types, if that's even a thing, like we would say before, or when we started dating, like we didn't we didn't think that we would ever date one another, or like somebody that looks like us. And I believe, yeah, the Lord like just ordains that person for you. But she said she'd never date a runner, and I'd always dated runners up to that point myself, and she was actually a gymnast, and funny enough, she runs now. But yeah, we are pretty different. She's pretty introverted. I'd say I'm pretty extroverted. We have some different interests, but I fully believe, like most people, most marriages that I know, the husband and wife are pretty different. I don't know if you can, or if you could say the same about marriages or relationships that Jonathan, but I believe the Lord has intentions with that, it like creates a healthy tension, because you're gonna grow when you're not the same person, and so, or you don't have the same personality or same interests, and so yeah, being married to her is the best. There's certainly been a ton of hard moments, like a lot of growth conversations, but we're stuck together, and so we've been able to learn to conflict well. We did marriage class before marriage, marriage class a year in. Learn to conflict well, learn to just be there for each other, and yeah, year three is definitely better than year one. Not that, like I said, not that year one was bad or it's particularly hard, but there's, especially when you're moving in somewhere with somebody for the first time and you're like, every decision you make affects them. You're not just a guy living with the boys anymore. Like, yeah, there's a lot of conversations along the way, but it has grown me. Marriage has grown me personally so much, personally, spiritually, emotionally, and I know it has for her too. And so, yeah, I truly believe marriage is ordained, and yeah, hilarious that we met on Hinge, and it was the only person that I ever talked to. I was her second date on there, but yeah, I know a lot of folks now that are meeting that way. The guy that actually married my wife and I met his wife on Hinge, and that's kind of something that a lot of people in our generation and younger are meeting through now, and I would recommend it. I'd recommend giving a shot to anybody, and then yeah, I mean, Hinge people are serious, especially if they're Christians, I believe, and so man, yeah, it's I'd recommend marriage to anyone. It's awesome, and it continues to get better, and yeah, you definitely have to just stay in it. There's a book called The Meaning of Marriage by Tim Keller, and talks so much about so many great Christian values, and but even the stats about couples that go through things, or lose intimacy, or what have you, they're just so much better on the other side, because they have the Lord in the middle of it, but also they are just adamant about, hey, we're gonna make this work. And so yeah, I believe in the secular world, often people get married with one foot out. They're like, oh, I can leave, but yeah, I think approaching marriage with the idea that you can't leave is actually way better. So
I've always heard that about Hinge. I've had success and I've had failures with it as far as relationships and first dates and all that. I've always asked the work moms I've had, I call them my work moms, like how do you know if you've met the one? They're like, you'll know. And I said, that doesn't answer my question. And they're like, you'll know. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Apparently when I have that date and there's that chemistry, I'll know.
it's terrible advice, but it's also like, yeah, I think good advice. Like you don't want to settle, and yeah, you might not necessarily know right away, but I feel like early on in a relationship, you definitely, like the Lord makes it clear, and so I feel like I know some people that, family, outside of family, that maybe they force things, whereas whereas I believe the Lord makes it clear who you're supposed to be with, and yeah, it's just like, and I didn't believe it either. Like, I was like, what do you mean I'll know? Like, what do you mean that what do you mean, like, love at first sight kind of thing? Like, no, I'm gonna date someone I think is cool, and we'll figure it out. But then, like, yeah, the chemistry is, and I mean, I think that's one of, like, the many arguments I have for God is you can't explain love, and like, God's love for us, like, we absolutely cannot, like, comprehend, but there's no way to explain the love you have for somebody. It's just not logical. it doesn't follow any sense pattern, and that's the same thing with like God's love for us. Like, there's no way to explain that. So anyway, a little philosophical there.
No, no, it's all good, man. I love that. I just kind of on a side note, I've kind of learned to deal with the temptation, especially being in the retail environment where you're working with women and young ladies sometimes that are obviously you're around your age and that are attractive. When you're a distance runner and you are super skinny, it's kind of hard to play the field in a way because you're looked down upon as, oh, you're that runner guy. You're not very strong. You can't protect me. You're obsessed with running and with the gym and all that stuff. But what I've learned over the last 6 or so years, as I've gotten bigger and stronger and more filled out, and obviously I'm a little bit more attractive to the opposite sex, it's a little bit harder now to resist because you don't want to waste your time. Again, what I just reiterated is like,
Yeah.
you have to be totally focused. And as you get older, in all seriousness, your priorities in like, okay, I want to have a family, I want to have kids, I want to be protective, I want to support, I want to
Mhm.
provide, I want to become the leader and the man that I'm supposed to be. But I love that about y'all's journey.
Man, thank you so much. And yeah, everything you're saying too is totally true. And yeah, I think it's sometimes easy to obviously, yeah, I'm not dating anymore, but I think when I was dating or single or looking around, like get a get an idea about somebody, but for the wrong reasons, or yeah, just be tempted to engage in probably a relationship or person that I shouldn't. And yeah, like you said, from the faith aspect too, like the Bible says not to engage with or not to be equally yoked to an unbeliever, and so yeah, it's a lot of temptations out there, and it's hard, but I believe it is revealed to us like through prayer and through time, like if we're supposed to be with that person or not. And so I think if anybody can hopefully take encouragement from what we're talking about, yeah, to take it to God.
So, Austin, before I let you go, what is one thing that you want to share with somebody out there, whether it's running related, life related, faith related, that you have on your heart right now?
Oh man, one thing, yeah, I guess um, this won't be it, but what I said, I guess what I said earlier, I'd want to reiterate. I mean, this probably should be it, but I'll add a little something to it. Is to give God a chance if you are on the fence or if you're against it. Take politics or other people or your previous experience maybe with other people, or who you think God is or Jesus is, and um, figure out for yourself if Jesus Christ is real and true. Um, and I promise you won't be disappointed. And I think the other thing that I would encourage is to um, lean into what sets your heart on fire. And some people know what that is, and others may not. Others may not know what they want to do or what they like to do. But I guess as we spoke about on our previous podcast, and we kind of spoke about my brand. I just speak to a lot of people and know of a lot of people that are doing things that they don't want to do and aren't excited about life, and maybe don't really see a way for them to do the stuff that they want to do. But we make time for things that we love and that are important to us. And a lot of people say there's not enough time in the day, but there is. And you might have to sacrifice some Netflix time or some other things that you're doing in life to pursue what really will really set your heart on fire. But yeah, I would encourage people to lean into that, to really think about like, hey, what do I love, and can I do this? Can I make can I make money off of it? Maybe, or can I just do it on the side to just have something that I enjoy? And so, um, you don't give up on not only your dreams but on things that you love to do. Those would be the two things, I guess.
I love that, man. If you enjoyed this episode with Austin, please give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and check out the last link to our previous podcast episode. I'll leave that in the description, as well as Austin's brand and his Instagram handle. Go ahead and check him out and follow him on his journey. Austin, I want to thank you again for joining me. It's always a pleasure having you, brother. And
Yeah,
until next
honor.
time, we'll see you guys on the other side.